too. Okay, guys. Well, welcome back to, this is our second week of our Founder Frenzy. So our second September week. And this actually, for those of you that have been through this before, so it would be Courtney and Lisa, Becky, Jen, we sort of dubbed around last month with it. But this is a new thing, a new sort of topic that I put on. And I'm going to tell you guys right out from the beginning that, hey, Tori, that I'm going to share with you some stuff that's probably like a little bit more advanced. Like it's stuff like that me and Tori would sort of try to pull off and stuff like that, because I want you guys to know how we do it and how I'm doing it, and sort of some ideas that have come to me in the past too. I just had a party yesterday with a girl who does Tastefully Simple, and I said, "Do you want to do a party?" And she said, "No, I can't. This is my busy season." She is booked at events like fairs, vendor fairs, all expos and stuff like that every day or every weekend from now through the holidays. And I talked to her about it. I mean, she travels. I mean, she's up here in Maine. Like, she has one down in Framingham, Mass. She's doing one in New Hampshire. And I was like, oh, wow. She goes, yeah, but I'll go and sell $1,600. And you know that $1,600 of Tastefully Simple is a freaking lot of product. It's not as, I mean, it's, a lot for us too, but that is a lot of product. So that, to me, that means there's a lot of traffic coming through there and stuff. Their business is very different than ours, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit later. So this is the kind of stuff, that's what I'm going to just tell you right now. Like, I'm going to get a little bit advanced with you guys instead of just giving you basic consultant kind of stuff, because I think you guys can handle it. And I know you guys are the ones that, so when we talk about fundraisers and stuff too, I'm not going to give you just the basic Pampered Chef fundraiser information. I'm going to say a little bit of option kind of stuff, and you'll understand the meaning behind my madness. If you don't, we can talk about it afterwards. But I just wanted to preface that I think you guys are all pretty smart, Martian. So I'm going to just tell you ahead of time that you're getting the good stuff, Lisa. All right. So strap your pants on, because we're going to get going. All right. All right. So let's start. I'm going to share because, I have a PowerPoint. I was working on that frantically, Lisa, while we were going back and forth and stuff like that. So let's first talk about how many bookings we got this week. You guys do it in the chat. How many bookings did anybody get this week? And then I have the winners of the Booking Blitz. Did anybody book any parties this week? Go in the chat. Tell me how many parties you booked. I'll tell you, I booked 2 at a party. 3 for Martian. Woo-hoo! I know I booked 2 cooking shows last night from my cooking show. 2 fundraisers. So I think I booked 6. I'm going to put 6. Why can't I put, oh no, that's just Emily privately. 2, Courtney, Jen, 5. That is awesome. Good. Anybody else book any parties? Good. 3, Tori, good. Listen, now we talk about you as directors. We have personal businesses too. So again, this is why this is so key, is because that's what our training was on last week. We can go through and I can tell you about all this training, and I can go and do this every week with you guys, but I can't do it for you. So I can give you all the tools, tell you what to say, but you have to go do it. Right, Becky? Or else, it doesn't work. It's not going to just happen because you come to these trainings. You got to do it. So that's what I'm hoping, that I'm going to give you guys everything that you need. So let's talk about the winners of the Booking Blitz. I went through. Now listen, Jen, this is specifically for you. The thing ended on Wednesday night, okay? Because I know bookings came in after Wednesday. So, but the person who won by what they recorded on our thing by sending 35 messages was Jen Vincent. Woo! Yay, gift cards coming to you. And then with the number of no's listed on there with 4 no's, which I know she's not on here, is Nicole Brown. So she won with the 4 no's. And then with the most yeses, again, by Wednesday night, was 3 yeses, and that's Martian. Yay! He was right on it. I knew he was going to be winning something, because I think that I know. I love to meet new consultants and stuff and figure out what their button is. And Martian likes a good competition. So now I know, right? Are you competitive, Martian? Yes, you are. So yeah, I know Jen Vincent is as well. I do know that. See, I know buttons. That's where I know. So that was fun, and we can do that again, and we can keep doing, but because I just love, it's fun sometimes, I think, to do booking blitzes just because everybody's doing the same thing, so that's sort of fun. I have to tell you a funny story that I remember doing booking blitzes years ago, that we used to do them at meetings, so we'd have in-person meetings in a room or whatever, live, because that's how we always did it. Like, there was no online kind of thing. And so you'd have to go, we do booking blitzes, but we had cell phones, but everybody was calling. So you would have to go in different places in the building so you could be quiet, and you couldn't yell like, I got a booking, because everybody else is on the phone. Like, it was a whole big thing. Now when we do a booking blitz, when we're all together, it's stone quiet because everybody's just ticking away. So it's very different than it was. So okay, so that is that. So let's get on with what we're doing. Let's talk about fundraising, okay? Here's the reason I'm going to tell you why we want to fundraise. Well, let me do this. You guys unmute yourselves. Tell me why you think, I'm going to ask you guys, why do you think that fundraising would be a good part of your business? Anybody?
Reaches a lot of people at once.
It does. So I'm gonna translate that, because that's a big thing. So to help you as a business, that it is going to open your lead base, get you totally new kind of leads for a different in a different aspect. So yes, Lisa. So leads generation for you, an excellent way. Yeah, good. What else? People like to work with philanthropic people. I mean, like, I think that when you focus on fundraising and it's something that you really are doing to help give back, that is something good. Because again, you are a Pampered Chef consultant, but you're selling yourself, right? I mean, there's a reason why people are going to book a party or do business with you versus the girl that sits next to them at work that's a Pampered Chef consultant. You know what I mean? Like that. So there's those kind of things. So I think that when you do some sort of focusing on fundraising, that I think that it puts you in a good, a nice light as well. Do you think they could help your sales?
Oh, absolutely. Because I am selling food out of our Rec Snack Shack, and we're doing a fundraiser for Rec right now. So I'm actually making and selling, and people are coming and wanting to order product because of it.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, is it's twofold here. First thing is, I'm going to tell you, fundraisers are interesting because they tend to be the most motivated host that you'll have, because they are invested in it. People that go out and they're like, all right, I am fundraising for this. Like, they go out, they're really self-motivated versus a host that you got to like pull teeth for, because they want to do. So that's that. But then also, like, going back with what Lisa said, is that when you've got this huge group of people, you can have fundraisers that are several thousands of dollars, so this could be a big boost in incentives and, commission and all of that too. This could be it could be a really big thing, to do that too. Anybody else have any other reason? Just seems like fun. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I think that's it. I always talk lead generation and your sales, because it is a different type of party. And here's the cool thing is, and I'm going to tell you this, you're going to ask for your bookings for fundraisers differently. Instead of, I would love to host a party for you. Do you want to get free stuff? When you go for a fundraiser, it's I would love to help. And that sometimes is a really fun way to go and sort of different, because that's what you're doing with your fundraiser. I'm going to teach you how to do that too. So let's talk about how a fundraiser works. And I know some of you have actually looked this up already. This is from Pampered Chef. If you go under Explore and you go under Training, and I think it's like party types or something like this, this comes up under the fundraiser. So when you put it in as a Pampered Chef fundraiser, Pampered Chef gives, so you put it in as a fundraiser, Pampered Chef will actually at the end of it, when it's submitted, cut a check and send it in the mail to the organization. So if it's up to $600 in sales, Pampered Chef pays 10%. If it's over 600, they're going to pay 15% of whatever the sales, the commissionable sales of it is. Okay. The host will get the host or the chairperson. There's no host, or no host rewards, no free, discounted, all that kind of stuff. What they actually get, what the host or the organizer of the party would get a 10% past host discount after the party for the next year, and they can get the host special. So again, Pampered Chef gives that to the host or the organizer. Any booking that comes off of the party, Pampered Chef will include in that check $3 per booking. So again, that's where, where you actually mark where, if you get an email that says that they want to get those e-newsletters from the company and stuff, up in there, there's also a place that it says a show is booked and you can put in the date and stuff. That's what, if you put in a show and a date, they will include $3 per per booking off of that. The next thing that Pampered Chef does too, just to keep in mind, is that your commissions are different on a fundraiser. Okay, because again, Pampered Chef's giving all this cash to places. They do adjust our commission a little bit, so you actually make a little bit less. You only make 15% as your base. You would make 15% versus 20% as your base. Now, again, if you go up to for the month, if you're up to $750 in sales, you get that extra 2%. You would get the extra 2% on this as well. Does that make sense? When you hit the 15,000 career sales, then you're 17%. So your commission is a little bit less, about 5% less than it would be for a cooking show. But again, if you look at the benefits of it, everything, the sales go, the total sales and stuff are all the same, all of that. Okay, any questions about this part right here? Everybody clear? Okay, so now I'm going to show you another option. So you could run a Pampered Chef fundraiser like this. I'm going to share with you another option. And this changes, and somebody like Tori, who as a director, we start having a higher amount of commissions anyway, and overrides and stuff. This works a little bit better for us, but you absolutely can still do this. So another option is, and hear me out on this and try to envision, then I want you to ask me questions. You would enter it in as a regular party. So here, for example, I just did one. I made myself the host, put my email or Matt's email or whatever, but I put the name of the party. The name of the party was actually the whatever fundraiser, okay? But I put myself as the host. Now, remember, okay, so on this plate, this actually is wrong. Now I'm thinking around. So now I'm going to make commission on this a base 20%, okay? Because it's a regular show. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to the organization, I will give you, so again, I'm making a base 20%. You could tell the organization that you would give them up to 20%, right? You could give them more profits back by just, you would be sending the check to the organization. Does that make sense? Everybody? But then what's going to happen on this party is that you will get host benefits and free products. So now what's going to happen is you're going to take them. So you might be giving your commission, but you're going to get a whole bunch of free products. You could even do it this way and still give them the 10 to 15%, the same kind of boundary like the Pampered Chef does, and still take the host benefits and the free products. And we're going to talk about what to do with them, why you would want all of these in a minute. Okay, who has questions about this?
Can I say something?
So I've told you how it is if you set up a fundraiser with Pampered Chef. But now this is a different way that you can set up a fundraiser. And then again, instead of Pampered Chef sending them the money, you're going to actually send them the cash.
Can you hear me, Anna? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can I say something else that I do for fundraisers?
Sure.
Another thing that I do for fundraisers is if I have somebody, like, for instance, I had a person that I had met, and she works for a dog rescue. And so I offered a fundraiser to her. The fundraiser was in her name, but it was just a regular party. But I gave her 10% of the sales in cash back from my own pocket.
So you gave her the host benefits.
Yep.
So you gave her all the free products plus 10%.
Yep.
Now the reason why that
and she'll do it again.
Yeah, well, she'll do it again. But you know why? That's another thing to think about. Sometimes organizations have these auctions, right? They'll do silent auctions, or they'll do things where they need products to auction off. So what you can do a lot of times is do a party ahead of time, and then they can use the free product towards getting products to put into an auction. So they can sort of double dip on it as well.
Right.
Okay, any questions about this so far, about fundraising? How they work, how you can maximize them? Okay. Okay, so how are we going to find them? We talked about the keywords. I want to help. That's what the nice thing is. So here's the different places, and I want you guys to sort of brainstorm on your own. Think about, first of all, places and organizations that you know, or people you know that are in organizations, whether they're in children's clubs or camps, dance schools. I know Becky's tapped into that, is really big. Daycares. I've done numerous fundraisers for different daycares, big centers as well as the small family ones. You figure that if you have one that has 5 different families that they're taking care of, those 5 kids and families go out and get 5 different orders. There's 25 new leads for me right there. Cheerleading squads, any kind of organization that you know of. You know, a lot of times they're trying to raise money. Private schools, a lot of times, you know that I heard that somewhere, that Catholic schools, a lot of, at least here in Maine, they have a certain amount of money that they have to raise every year. And so, you know, just in fundraising. So that could be a thing too. The other thing is, who do you see? I'm telling you, if you really think about it and you start being like intentional about it, you will see people fundraising all over the place. If somebody's having a spaghetti dinner for something, if they're doing a bottle drive, you see those signs all over the place. I've done where I've taken a picture, because you want the number, you want the contact information. So when it says spaghetti dinner, for more information, call here, I take a picture of it on my phone. So when I go home, I can call them. I'll tell you again what to say, but that's what I do. The little neighborhood newspapers, that's what I call them. We get them up here in Maine. They're like the free ones. You get like once a week, and it's got all kinds of just area, local kind of stuff going on. Somehow mine overlap, so I get like 2 or 3 of them, different ones. But go through there. That's where people put those events and those fundraisers. So now you have those on there as well. How about GoFundMe? And now you see on Facebook all the time, people are saying, here, you know, I'm benefiting this or that, or, you know, here's a GoFundMe that we've set up for this or that. They're raising money. You have a way to help. Okay. So before we go on to the engagement post, this is what I'm going to tell you, what your conversation with any of these places is going to be. Hi, my name is Anna Vierling. I'm with the Pampered Chef. I saw that you were raising money for whatever. I want to help, and I have a program that can do that. And would you want some more information on how I can help you fundraise? That's what your thing is. So that's what your call is to the local fire department that's fundraising, or the whatever it is. You can call and offer that you've got something to help them with. Okay? You might have heard, and I know Emily and I played with this a little bit, and she had put something on. I don't know what exactly her response is, but I used it as a engagement post. I don't. You can go, if you didn't see it, you can go back onto my timeline, go search under me, and you'll see it. But I put just a thing: what nonprofit organization is near and dear to your heart? I did this like a couple years ago, and I got this too, and I've gotten tons of response. So a lot of it, and they just all these different organizations. A lot of them, and I think that it's sort of cool because I think people like to be able to put and sort of advertise what their organizations are. So it's been a great engagement post. Let's take a step back for a minute. For those of you that are newer to really working with Facebook and stuff, you know, to have popular engagement posts like that are so important. Because if I have Facebook looks at if I have something that a lot of people respond to, they look at me as relevant. So now when you pull up your timeline, you're most likely going to see something that I post. Because people comment a lot on my posts, so people think that I am relevant and that everybody just wants to know what I have to say. So that's why you might see me more often than you see other people, because if you put these engagement kind of posts, so that's one. I'll tell you what I always say that gets my best engagement posts is whenever I put a picture or anything about Matt being a policeman, they eat that right up. Dogs, the people love the dogs. So like different things like that, when you do kind of posts like that you can get a lot of response for, sometimes we'll see fun ones. You know, you might look at one that we even have under the Veerling organization, under the albums, under engagement that you might pick and choose from your parties. You might be like, oh my God, I love that one. I'd love to see what people think. Throw that on your page, right on your regular timeline, and get your family and friends to sort of respond to that. That will help you. So on a Facebook, you know, the algorithms and all that, that will help you. The more relevant Pampered Chef sees that you are, or Facebook sees that you are. So I put that post, and then I got all kinds of things. But what I thought was that a great idea too might be on your party, that to make a post, and maybe on a certain day. You know how you have like the recruiting one on a certain day, and the booking, you know, what you would get for 50% off on a certain day. To have something like this about fundraising in your parties. So maybe on, you know, a certain day on Monday, you would put, or even that could be one of your engagement posts over the weekend, this Saturday and Sunday. I'm saying this because I'm thinking about this for me, that I'm going to put something like, something exciting that I love that Pampered Chef allows me to do is to fundraise. What nonprofit organization is near and dear to your heart? And just put it out there and let that be an engagement post. And, you know, and that's what happens is people are putting stuff on and they're putting like MCR. Well, I don't know what that is. So what is MCR? Or I would write them and say, why is this hemophilia group something that's really important to you? And you sort of get them to talk about it. So I actually learned about a lot of them too, which was interesting. But that's the thing, is chat them up a little bit. Then what I did was I sent them this following message. So, you know, I love your organization and everything about it, and I know that you're super passionate about it. I've been thinking that something I can offer through Pampered Chef is fundraising, and I would love to do this with and for you. The company usually gives 10 to 15% to the organization. I want to offer you 20% of all sales with the extra from my commission. We would do it all online from Facebook. I would run it all, but would just need a little bit of help from each day from you, like 5 minutes or so. What do you think? So just by putting that, I've booked 2 new fundraisers to start on Wednesday that I'll be setting up Wednesday. I've got another one going later in November. These are people that do not do parties for me too. That's the cool thing. They are different groups of people. They are people that are on my Facebook that I might even talk to, but they are not in my Pampered Chef group of people. They are not Pampered Chef people, but they're passionate about fundraising, and this sounds really fun to them. So I've really started some conversations. I've got a couple people like have asked, and we're sort of waiting. They need to check in with some people, all that kind of thing. So I've got a few sort of in the waves too. So it was successful for me, but I wanted to try it before I gave it to you guys. But I would suggest doing it, and you can use these words. I'll post this screen for you guys afterwards if you want. but again, it's just a way to sort of branch out too. So you can see what I did was I didn't want it to be really salesy to them too. Like, oh, thanks for sharing. Here's something I can, book a party with me. So I wanted it really to feel like, and again, in this instant, I may not give 20% of all my sales to everybody, but in this time right now, I wanted to do that to get some fundraising and start that process. So I am putting them in as regular parties, taking the host benefits, but I will give them 20% of my commission right there. Because again, I know I'm going to make at least that, if not more. And then I'm writing it off as tax, a tax write-off. It's charity. And there you go. So it's a win-win all around. Okay, is anybody, let me just ask, has anybody thought of, as we were just talking, of an organization or somebody that they can reach out to? Somebody know of a Boy Scout troop, a dance school, a daycare? It could be anybody in any organization. What organization's near and dear to your heart? No, you guys are dead. Is everybody, I need to know you're engaged and that you do. Do you have an organization, Lisa?
I'm very involved with our local high school. So I do a lot of things with different sports clubs.
There. So you now have something to do to offer them.
Yeah. I was thinking the cheerleading club or the cheerleaders, because they're always doing something.
And something fun that you can do when you get the kids involved too, I've heard, is that you can offer, when they do the school, whatever those dumb things are, the wrapping paper, there's always like, your kids like need to sell this certain amount so they can get that dumb little prize. But you could do something like that. You could put in, like, say, $10, Dunkin' or Starbucks gift card to whoever brings in the most amount of sales or the most amount of orders. Sometimes it's easier for them to control how many orders they get versus the total amount of sales.
Yeah.
So, but you could offer those kind of little incentives. Again, it's all a tax write-off for you, but if you look at what, it's going to go towards trip incentives, it's going to go towards your commission, your sales incentives, all of that. Plus, again, it is a tax write-off to you.
Yeah.
That's great, Lisa. Good. Jen, you have something you're thinking of?
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't want to say because Courtney's on and she'll jump on the idea.
She'll take, Courtney will take your idea?
Yeah, it's secret.
This is where the competitive comes in. I can't wait. I'm going down to Mass to meet all those girls face to face. So I'm so excited to get right into the competitive mix. Too funny.
And she already says that she has a few ideas that she's going to.
Yeah, she does. All right. Well, we'll put you. I know Emily she's probably putting babies to bed, but I know she has, we've talked about a few ideas too, as well. We start getting into, now, we're getting, one thing to think about is, we're getting into the holidays. So sometimes you'll see some of these fundraisers for, like Thanksgiving baskets or, who
Secret
does it?
Christmas tree.
Yes, all of that kind of stuff, or the food banks, all that. So that's all something that we can really help with, food drives and stuff. Doing the fundraising. Now, it's fun because we can do it all virtual, and really your virtual fundraiser, just to talk about it technically, would pretty much look like your regular parties, just with your post at the beginning and the name of it. It's all going to be about, you're going to talk about what you're fundraising for, but really the party itself could run it's the same template as your regular parties, right? Why would it have to be different? It doesn't. Maybe you would give a little bit different host coaching to your organizers. So I'm thinking that on that first day, when I tell them to go on and say why they had a party and what they want to earn, it would be more as an introduction of, I would want them to put something about the organization on there, you know, some sort of information about the organization and why it's passionate and stuff. But other than that, everything else really can be the same. One other thing, and again, I got to put myself a note here because this is something else I want to do. I am trying to figure out, and Tori, I don't know if you've seen anything. I tried to search around, but I want to put a post on my parties about incentivizing people to add their friends. Right? So like to say, you know, the more the merrier kind of thing, add, to get more points, add any of your friends and say below, you know, sort of comment below how many you invited or something like that. Then what I'm going to do is when they say, okay, I invited 10, what I'm going to do under that though, I think the key is to give them the words and say, great, Susie, thank you so much. Could you please message each one of them the following? And give them that would sort of be a, hey, I thought you would really love this. My friend Mary is having a party. Here's the link. Make sure you click join so that you can get them in there, because too many times they're get invited to something and then I don't think they do. But this is like getting them to do the same thing the host is doing, is connecting them to the party too. So that I thought would be really great with these fundraisers, to really sort of try to grab that too. That's awesome, Martian. So you did do that. Did you incentivize them too? He's got to unmute himself.
No, I just asked them to add at least one of their friends, the members that were already in the group. Yeah. I did the pre-party for the 2 days leading up to, and we already had the show qualified before it even started.
That is awesome. Awesome. Good. Okay, that's exciting. But yeah, that's something that I want. So I want to add a post in our parties about fundraising and one about adding people. And speaking of that, hey, Tori, did you see in the director thing that Cammie posted about the Fab Four? Cammie Cruz? Okay, good. Don't say what it is, but I'm telling you guys, I have something really good to share with you when we do our training. So on the virtual parties too, some new stuff. So good. Okay, so this is good. So this is something else that we'll add in there. Okay, so fundraisers, I want to help. That's what the fundraisers is all about, okay? Now, let's move on. Let's get out there. The other thing I want to talk about are events. Why do we want to go out and do events? Events, I'm talking about craft fairs, vendor events, expos, anything where you can set up a table and be out there and meet people. Why would we want to do that?
Exposure,
new leads. I'm going to tell you something, that the big thing is that for the most part, because we don't hold inventory, the most part, when you go do these tables, you are mostly out there. It's a lead generation and it's meeting people. That's really what you will get. Some orders, and depending on what the where we are and what's going on, you will get some of those orders. I don't know if Tori can say, I've probably been in different situations, but mostly what I get excited is when I come out with recruits and bookings. That's what I'm going to come out with. I may get a party worth of orders, $200 or so, but nothing too crazy. I want the leads. And I know every one of you here is tired of calling the same people over and over again and messaging them to get bookings. You need new leads, and this is going to be a good way to do that. Okay, so let's start there. Where to find these different events, okay? So you can pick and choose where you're going to go. The neighborhood newspapers for events, they are always like the Holiday Bazaar, or this craft fair, whatever. That's, those are the kind of things too. School newsletters, again, for craft fairs, holiday bazaars. watch for signs advertising them again. Again, you might be driving down and they'll say craft fair of this date, this date, this date, this date. Agricultural fairs, we're just sort of wrapping that season up here, but I just talked again to that Tastefully Simple girl. She was there at the Windsor Fair like every day for, what's that, 5 days or something, all by herself, but I think she sold $6,000 worth of product, of Tastefully Simple product. Again, that's a lot. I was said nursing home fairs just because I've been to them before, that sometimes the nursing homes or the retirement will have like a fair or bazaar, and those are always good too. Now, I did hear the money sign for bridal fairs and women's expos. The reason being is I, in the past, have regularly strayed away from them, but I think I'm going, because they are more expensive. These other ones you're looking at regularly, and I know Becky, we were talking about, because Becky had talked that she had one or two that she was maybe getting into too, but you, there you should be no more than $50. Like regularly what I would do is I would look at what the cost is and what I usually would earn on a party. So I would be okay to spend $50 to set up a table, because I know if I book one party, I'm going to make $50 back, right? I sort of like make that. So, you know, if it's more expensive, it's $100, okay, how many parties do I have to book from this show to be able to make my money back? That's sort of how I look at that. When you get into these women's expos and stuff like that, I know there's one in Augusta, which I'm looking into, but she said, the girl said it's like $300 for 4 hours, something like that. $300 for 4 hours. That's a lot. But I also know that the girl needed 3 people to help her at her table, because that's the kind of people, that's how many people are coming through. So what if I split it with somebody, 150 and 150, and we have that much traffic? It could really be worth it. So just to think about that. And again, bridal fairs, we have a bridal registry. We're not even tapping into that today, but we have a whole bridal registry. So bridal fairs really could be a great thing too. So these, don't shy away from the numbers one, or the big dollar sign ones, because I think that they could still be lucrative if the traffic is there. So a really good way is to try to talk with somebody who's already been to that event, and make sure, you know, what kind of response that they had from it. Okay. What you will do, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a rundown on how your little setup is going to look and what you're going to do and what's going to be most important. You're going to set up a table, and Lisa Corey, you are not going to take everything that you own and put up on this table. Lisa and I just discussed it. She's got her first cooking show coming, and I told her, I go, don't even test me on this. You are not taking everything you own to that party.
I told you I made a list of everything that was in my kitchen that I wanted to take.
No, you're not doing. I told her no.
I threw the list away after you said that.
Good girl. She did say, yes, Mom. That's what she said when I told her. But really, less is more. We've done studies that if you had your table full of every product that you own versus a few specially sort of, you know, a nice looking display, they're more apt to remember and notice what you've got on your table versus if it's got 50,000 products. So less is definitely more. 1 or 2 pieces of a collection and the newer products. For example, I would probably take, if it came to cookware, you would take 1 piece of cookware. If you had the grill pan, the new grill pan, to me, that's the one I'm going to take, because it's got the handle that comes off, you know, like that's the piece that I'm going to take to be able to show for that. Newer products, if you have them, you don't, I mean, if you don't have it, you don't have it, but, you know, take what you have, but the newer. Do not offer food. I know I did this the first time. I remember doing one, and what a pain in the butt. I was so stressed out about the freaking table, and then I got all these baked goods I need to put out and display and make sure, and then things are melting. It was a hot mess. So and you have to worry about that too when it comes to preparing food. Yeah, allergies, giving it out and stuff. When we had like we still have the raspberry habanero. I mean, something like that would be a great thing to pour a little bit in a dip and have a thing of pretzels next to it, and they could just dip it in. You know what I mean? Like something like that if you wanted to, but do not cook and do a whole lot of garbage like that. That is too much. Utilize frames. Now, again, I run a thrift shop, so I have a readily steady available of random frames, but use them on your table to have like the special, to have, the host special, recruiting specials, anything like that you want to have out, use those. I always say too, be very Martha Stewartish and use some height on your table. So I've always like put one of the, we've got those great cooling racks. So I use those, put them up on the legs. So I've got some lower things, some higher things, and you can sort of make things stand out that way too. The drawing, that is going to be your big thing here. If you don't do a drawing, you're probably just wasting your money, truthfully. The drawing is the way that you're going to get your leads, and that's what's going to be really important there. So here's how your drawing is going to be. That's going to be get your people to the table. Would you like to enter a drawing for a free piece of stoneware? That's what I put on there. You could do whatever you want. I always say people know stoneware and they know with Pampered Chef. Now, I said it down later here. The stoneware you're going to give is going to be the smallest piece of stoneware that we have. That's like $10, whatever. Like that's the one that you're going to actually give away in this. But what happens is when they come over and they go, sure, I'll do that. While they're filling out the form, that's when you're going to chat them up, right? Do you have a lot of Pampered Chef? Do you work with a consultant already? When was the last time that you're at the party? Start talking to them about what products do you have already? Do you have a favorite? And start getting into a conversation with them. This is going to be key for you to be following up with them and sort of knowing what you do. Here's something I'm going to tell you, and this, I remember a girl said this from the home office who had been in direct sales before. You're going to get, at the end of this party, you're going to have a stack of these leads now, hopefully. You're going to have all these. What you're going to use is those, I meant to pull it from, the little pack of drawing slips you got, the survey slips that you got in your kit. Did you get a little pad of paper with those things? That's what you're going to use, okay? So you're going to have a stack of these now. When you go home, I don't care how tired you are and how beat you are for the next week, you have got to text these people or follow up with them within 20. Thank you, Martian. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But you want to take those with that contact information, contact them within 24 to 48 hours. If you don't, you might as well just throw them out into the garbage. Okay? Because here's what I'm going to tell you. If you try every day after that you meet them and that they fill that out, incrementally the percentage of their remembrance of you, their excitement about whatever they just saw, that relationship that you had with them, it goes down. So the sooner you can contact them and say, hey, Susie, it was great to meet you. Thanks so much for stopping by. Were there any products that you were interested in? You're going to pick somebody as a winner. But I know that in the past, and I don't know if this works so much with the online stuff, but we used to call everybody else that didn't win and say, I'm so sorry you didn't win the grand prize, but you did win a free party. And then what we do is you'd book the cooking show and you would just say, I'm bringing the ingredients. So it's free. They get to hold a party, but it's free. It's not going to cost them anything because you're going to bring the ingredients. They just got to get their friends there. But you bring that. Yes. So it's a good idea that way. But this is going to be your key here when it talks about these events. Okay. Here's a couple other things. Remember, don't test me. Do not stand behind the table at any time. You are always going to be in front of your table. Do not sit in a chair behind the table because you, again, might as well throw in your money right away. People are not going to make eye contact. You've got to be out there and, making eye contact and, hey, would you like to check this out? Would you like to, are you familiar with Pampered Chef? That's what I love about, would you like to enter a drawing for a free product? That's what you're going to be doing out there. You are not going to put a pile of your full catalogs out there because these are expensive to you. And what's going to happen is somebody's going to come up that maybe they're not so interested, but they just don't want to make eye contact, and they're going to take one to make you feel better, and they're going to throw it in the garbage. Okay, so do not send this whole thing. A cool idea to do if you're going to get doing a few of these is to take a 3-ring binder and the clear, the clear, what are those? Clear pockets?
Paper savers.
Yeah, paper savers. And you take a nut and you rip this catalog apart page by page, put it in there so you could have that out on the table. So you do have a full catalog then that they could flip through. You could show them things in here, but again, it's nothing that they're going to take with them. Now, I do, though, take mini catalogs with me because I use them a lot of times as my business card. I'd rather give them that than a business card because it's something, those are not that expensive. So I would make sure all your information's on those, and then you could give those, hand those to people. Let's talk cash and carry. Okay, this is where we're going to get a little bit advanced, and this may be something new to Tori that I'm going to share with her as well. So 18 years I've been doing this. Okay, so I probably should take off the recording at this point, but we're not. 18 years I've been doing this. In the policies and procedures, we are not to do cash and carry. We're not to hold inventory and resell products. That's what we're not supposed to do. So I go out, and some of you might know this name because he is all over the place, but I was in mid-Illinois with Terry Bales-Nichols, which some of you may have seen her on some of her trainings and stuff, another director. She lives in a town near Missy Iltz is there, who's a top seller, and Michael Yoakley. We hear about Michael Yoakley. He does great recipes and all kinds of stuff. So there's a little town kind of square kind of thing going on. He's got a table there. I've not seen so many freaking boxed up products in my life that he is selling at this table. I mean, this is over and beyond cash and carry. Like, he doesn't have any displays up of host specials or anything like that. It is just to purchase products from his thing. I never seen anything like it before. I said to Terry, what the H? Like, we're not even supposed to be doing this. Like, what is this? But they do it. They all sell this. So I talked a little bit about, and I was just talking to Terry about it again. We were talking about this whole fundraising thing, and that's what she does a lot. Remember, we were to go back to where you would take the host benefits and get products? Because what happens at a lot of these, they do like to purchase things. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking along the lines, too, because I was thinking of this Tastefully Simple chick. I was thinking that about our spices and our rubs. I'm thinking about the new Enrichables coming out as well, that those would be good items to have and to be able to sell some things. To have those there, I do have tons of product in my basement, which will come out for some of you. We'll talk about that next week, but there is plenty in there that I could be putting some cash and carry and sell them. But again, you could use those host benefits that you're getting on these other fundraisers to stock up your cash and carry and start taking them. So you would have a nice display, but you would have some products to sell as well. Then what you do, here's the other kicker here. You take whatever, I would keep an inventory, figure out what you sell, and then I would take that cash and repurchase stuff. So now it goes back into sales for Pampered Chef. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So if I go and I sell $500 of cash and carry, I'm going to take that $500 cash and turn it into a $500 order of products to sort of replenish what I've just sold. So now then that $500 goes back. I mean, unless you need to make a car payment, you can put that $500 back. But no, for me, that $500 would go in. I'd get more commission. It would go into more sales. It would do that kind of thing too. Does that make sense? I think the cash and carry on a lot of these, especially when we're talking about an event that's going to cost quite a bit, that, you know, if you could cash and carry at least what the cost of the event is, then I think that things would be, that would make it really worth it as well.
So we're not allowed to have products and sell them? Is that what you're saying?
It says in our policies and procedures, you cannot resell products. I talked to home office at some point and said, I didn't say names. I said, I was at somebody's thing. I saw them reselling product. What is the policy? And there's nothing specific. And what he told me was, well, they say that, and I think I was an executive director at the time. I was talking to the concierge guy, that they will say to have not an overabundance of products, a little bit of product. So what the hell does that, I don't know what that means, but that's what, so we can do, but we can't set up in a storefront, you can't do anything like that. So it sounds very vague, but I think that, again, I'm taking you guys advanced and to another level here. I think that when we talk about those fundraisers, if you're doing them that way, and some of you have got stuff in your kit that you already have everything of already or whatever, those are the kind of things that you could be doing some cash and carry. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with at least making back your cost for whatever you're putting out there.
Well, I just think it's funny because they put a lot of things in the supply and stuff of like, I know it's mostly to give away for gifts.
Yes.
But like,
it is gifts that they would not put it in there for that kind of thing. But then again, that's what because I would always say too, that if you're going to purchase stuff, I would purchase it, if you say, okay, I've got this event, I want to purchase this kind of cash and carry. If you were going to purchase it, I would purchase it under a party and get you know what I mean? And to get the money for it, get the sales, get the commission and stuff for it. But again, if you are the host of these fundraisers, take the free product or run your own big party or something, take the free product and use that, towards this cash and carry. Then
that's what I've been doing all summer.
Yeah, perfect.
And I have quite an abundance.
Yeah, I get too much. It's too much. We really got to downsize.
So I have a question, Anna.
Yes, good, please.
So would are you talking about just having the cash and carry for the fundraiser ideas, or are you talking about setting up something like that at the home shows also? I would think it would take away from the sales.
Yeah, I would not do it at the home shows. The cash and carry is not even at fundraisers. The cash and carry that I would put out is
I didn't mean that.
Yeah, it's just at events. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at parties. No. Don't do that at parties. Okay. Yeah. The only time I've ever done that at a party, for whatever reason, maybe at the holiday, because if somebody needed something right away and I had something, but what I would do is I would sell it, but then I would put an order in for it on the host party. So I would just replenish my stash of it. Yeah. So you could definitely do something like that. Yeah. Anybody else? Questions about this? I'm going to tell you, I am looking to, I was really inspired by talking to that girl the other day about what she's doing with her Tastefully Simple, and really trying to do, I'm thinking of doing some of these bigger, more expensive ones just because of the traffic, just because the other couple that I've done before, there have been like 3 people come, like they've been sort of duds kind of thing. I did it for a friend. The last couple that I've done in the last few years, I haven't done them in years. I used to do them all the time. So I'm really I'm interested in getting into these pretty heavily. Just again, if you could do that kind of sales in a short amount of time, it's sort of working smarter, not harder kind of thing too. Okay. All right, let's talk about our homework. Okay, we'll finish it up because what time? It's right 8:57. Oh my gosh, we're so good. All right, so here is your homework. We're going back to what we talked about at the end of last week. This is your homework. 25 messages a day this week. I don't care if it's 5. Let's do Monday through Friday, 5 days a week this week. Martian, are you listening? 25 messages. Listen, your rock star messages that you send in the party, those count. I'll let you count those if you got parties running for that day. If you do 25, that's good. But 25 a day. So that means 5 days that you're going to send out 125 messages by Friday, right? We're going to get some bookings. We can't do anything else and move forward with you guys growing your businesses until we've got this bulk of business. And again, we're going to talk more about that tomorrow night when we do the virtual training, virtual party training again. We're going to really be talking again about how that system works and why it works. Okay? And that's going to have to do. But here's the other challenge I'm going to give you guys. To book one fundraiser, at least one fundraiser this week. It doesn't have to be for this week, but to book one for at some point this season. And to book one, go find a festival or a fair that you can set up a table in this, you know, at some point. Okay, is that fair? Good? Who's cringing? I'm seeing a lot of blank looks. Courtney's falling asleep. Tori, you're cringing?
Not because of you.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to move a picture up on my Evernote, and it just really pissed me off.
I know.
So
I know.
That was the cringe.
Good. Courtney, was this everything that you wanted it to be?
Yep.
It was? Good.
Yep. And I already actually have 2 festival or fairs that I might be doing.
Good. Good. That's awesome.
I have 3 booked already this year.
Good. Yeah, I'm excited. I know Emily was talking about, and I said, think about this too. So I know I've been to the VA in Augusta and the VA hospital there, and I know that they had some big event, like some sort of, like one day we were there, and it must have been before Christmas, and there was like in one hallway, all kinds of direct sales people set up. So, because it was a great way for not only, you know, patients that were coming in, but the staff, right? You know, a lot of times these people don't get a lot of time to shop during the holidays, so they were able to. So you get into some place like this. I know Emily was talking about, she used to work at Maine Med, and so she's got contacts in, you know, some of the nurses. I said, I know they have events throughout the year, you know, in their thing. I said, you get into one of those. I mean, you're in a building now with thousands of people. The traffic, you know, that you potentially have going through there is ridiculous. So think about those kind of places too. If you have any kind of compact in there. What? Are you going to be at the fair, Martian?
Yeah, I stay right on the grounds all week long.
For what?
I show Belgian draft horses. I've been doing it for like 12 years.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you're going to do one right there at the thing?
Yeah, we're gonna, she booked off my launch party, and we're gonna have a Freiburg Fair party and do a bunch of like demos. I'm gonna bring a bunch of stuff like the food chopper and things that they can use and touch.
What are you in a camper at the campground thing there?
Right behind the horse barns, we have campers there, yeah, that we stay in.
Oh, I am totally coming to see you. That sounds so fun.
You should. I'll introduce you to one of the horses. We'll have 6 there.
Oh, I totally want to do. Yeah, I'm totally coming. Good. We'll talk about that. So
yeah, and you have to be careful though with Anna when she says she's going to come and do something, because she went to see my daughter at McDonald's for her first job and knocked on the drive-through window and said, "It's me, Anna."
I didn't knock on it. I said, "Hi, it's me." And she's like, "Excuse me?" I go, "We just talked about this, Elise, the other night. It's me. It's me."
That's funny.
She says, "Hi, it's me, Anna."
Don't you know me?
It was pretty cute.
Stranger danger.
Exactly. People should say that all the time to their children when I come around. Me, to their children and their dogs, because I'm all about, you know.
That's funny.
So, okay, I'm going to quit the recording.